Hey everybody, this is Vril. Welcome back to Extended Timeline New World Order. So in the last episode we had the USA continuing its march through Central America here. They took out the El Salvador, Guatemala, and Belize. We'll see if they continue and take out Mexico completely after that truce timer ends and go into Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and we'll see what they do once they get to Peru. Looks like we've got some Dutch Pirates of the Caribbean here. And over in China, we had some big-time action. We had Russia once again declaring a war against China. So they did this earlier in the series. They took over a good chunk of China here and then lost it because of a punitive war. But they've gained most of it back. I think they actually didn't gain quite as much as they had. But we also had India and actually Great Britain going into China, so the British have pushed beyond Hong Kong and created British South China, and India took a little bit more on the border here with China as well. So over in the Middle East we had Syria taking out Iraq completely. In Africa we had Ethiopia taking out some provinces from Niger. We had Niger taking out, looks like, Chad completely here. And I think we had Ivory Coast continuing its expansion and taking out Togo, possibly somebody else that I'm not sure about. But yeah, that's where we're at. We're actually in a bit of a state of not as much war going on. We have an Afghan-Pakistani war. We have this Mongol-Chinese war we'll look at, and this Tunisian reconquest of Sirte against Libya has just kind of been going nowhere for a while. We quickly look at our armies. We have the USA, India, Russia, Germany, and Canada is still there. So Peru's there, Ukraine, just looking at these. British, decent. Poland's decent, but obviously with the EU mechanics, probably won't see much of them. So let's have a look here. This war between Afghanistan and Pakistan will end very quickly, I suspect. So let me just switch back to this current wars so we can see what's going on there. Yeah, so that won't take long at all. Mongolia probably, unless China can gain its manpower, I think that Mongolia probably will win this. I think China is just like totally shot from all the wars that have been declared against them. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to boost the speed up. I think we're in a good state. I had to slow it down a bit in the last episode because of some slowdowns, but I think we're good. Yeah, it looks like Mongolia, probably at least with Kyrgyzstan here, has, I don't know, 100, well, they've got 123k there. That's combined though. But the Chinese are on the ropes here. They might not end or exist by the end of this series, so we'll see what happens there. Can't believe this Tunisian war is just like taking forever here. And like I said last episode, in what world does Afghanistan finish off Pakistan? Wouldn't be surprised if Tajikistan, actually they're allied with Afghanistan, so that's not going to happen. I was thinking Afghanistan, maybe they'll go aggressive and then go into Tajikistan, but that's not going to happen. So that province has a fort. Do we have... It's something going on. We have an American-Honduran imperialist war. Okay. Well, I thought maybe that the Indians were going to go into Nepal here. I thought that's what I was seeing here, but the Nepalese are having some issues with these revolutionaries. So the Nepal, we checked this last episode, but they are a feudal monarchy. And yeah, here's another thing. The actual casus belli for this British-India war against China was a change of government, but the Chinese kept their socialist government there, as you guys could see. So looks like Mongolia just ended their war with China, leaving them even worse condition. Actually, wait here. What happened there? Because it looks like they ended and then immediately went back. Okay, I'm not sure because they actually gained that territory. Yeah, I'm not sure. So let me quickly look before this war even ends that the USA going into Honduras. So, as expected. Yeah, I was thinking it might take a little bit longer for the USA to actually declare these wars, but they seem pretty aggressive. We looked at their military not their military leader, but their president in the last episode, and he had some military skill there, so seems like an aggressive kind of guy. When was he elected? 2037, so he's coming up to the end of his term, so we'll see. A couple more years. Look at that China. Wow, this is a lot of border gore. I think we're about to get something to end here. It was really, really chugging there. No, it did not end, but we have, yeah, that. And we have a Spanish and Italy going to war against Libya and Egypt. So the European nations can flex their muscle with no repercussions against Libya and Egypt because they're protected by the European Union. So we'll see if Libya and Egypt even exist after a while. Italy was really, really strong in the World War II series. Haven't seen much out of them. Obviously, you haven't seen much out of a lot of the European nations because of the EU mechanics, but at least they're starting to expand a little bit here. I guess it helped that the Spanish already had that territory in North Africa, so they can go in here. Okay, we've already got Spain arriving in Libya. We've got the Italians arriving in Egypt, so we'll see if the Italians can actually get it done here this time in Egypt. Yeah, I think they're going to be able to. Egypt, after they lost, I think it was a war against Sudan, as I get a real big slowdown there. Did have Afghanistan completely take out Pakistan over there. I'm surprised. I'm getting some slowed. I guess it's just the size of all of the armies in the world, not particularly the like rebels or something like that. It's just all of the armies in the world here. We've got some Cambodian pretender rebels here too. China is messed up. I cannot believe how that has happened. Come on, North Korea, invade the South and see what happens there. They have no military leader. You're going to whoop on them. You're probably the same tech group too. Not. Yeah, they are the same tech group. Slightly different. Looks like actually the North has a higher military tech as well, and they completely have claims on each other. So we knew about that. Now we have the U.S. going into Nicaragua. We have France and Peru against Brazil. So Peru, actually, was that France declaring war on Brazil there? So this could be quite good for the Peruvians. Yeah, I think that Peru, I mean, they have that alliance with the French, assuming the French actually get over here and actually bring their armies to Brazil. Because I think they independently had a war with Brazil at one point earlier in the series, and it completely did not go well. Peruvians do have 100k, just about. So we see the Americans occupying Nicaragua there. We'll see if the Americans declare war on Costa Rica in this episode. French Brazil. Do we already have the... Tunisia finally ended its war with... Tunisia finally ended its war with Libya. Really screwing up Libya here for the Spanish. And they seem to be sieging out some... Cairo here. Figured that was Cairo. Yeah, that one will not be going on for very long. Had the Americans in their war with Honduras, it looks like. Mongol Chinese. I'm surprised that one's going on as long as it has. Hey, we actually have some French army over here in Brazil. They probably need to run away from the Brazilian stacks, though. Let me just check. Okay, France does have an 86k stack. They camped on the border here with Spain, that entire war that they had with Brazil previously, so they had lost that one. It looks like... And we just had the Spanish War. Did they get anything? A little bit of Libya. The Italians didn't get anything. I thought they might have taken a little bit more. Ah, they released Fezzan here. Okay. Yeah, we've got a couple of these like nations, like Mazab here, that have been released in this series. Like Europa Universalis IV vanilla nations. Yes, so the US finishing off Honduras. So basically, the Peruvians, it seems like, are going to completely take out or take control of South America, and then that'll leave the US able to just have to declare war on just a couple nations. So what do we got going on here? Now we still have this Mongol Kyrgyzstan war against China, but we have a Russian conquest. This is Sazunghar, if you guys have not been following the series as much, are steppe nomads. So the only ones in the world, and Russia is going to finish them off, it seems like. So a sad day for the steppe nomads of the year 2045 here. Mongolia is... I just don't understand how Mongolia captured this territory before, unless there's... I don't know why. Because they're still at war, unless they... I don't know. Maybe somebody can explain that one to me. Spanish change of government now in Morocco. Spain's really going aggressive in this episode. Trying to reconquest here against like North Africa, like Algeria, these nations, Morocco. A little quiet from Ethiopia finally. We kind of need that. A little quiet from Africa in general here. We had so much. We had like 4 or 5 wars going on independently of each other in the last episode, or many episodes before that. Looks like Brazil is occupying pieces of... Do we have... Why is Argentina... I guess they have some sort of military access in there. Oh yeah, they're right here. I didn't notice. I thought this province was actually part of Brazil. But apparently the Argentinian army is sort of like landlocked around Brazil. So that's a bit funny. Head on over here. Since it is a European nation going into Morocco, I want to see what's going on there. Let's see if Tunisia goes into Fezzan here. Mazab, Tlemcen. Just pretty funny that these nations exist again. Is this, again, is this war still going on, but it seems like China's territory... It's like Mongolia is a zombie horde here. And they're just taking out China. What is the deal here? I really do not understand. I do not have the zombie invasion the mod turned on here. So we got a India change of government in Iran, so that's a good one. Okay, I jinxed it, and we have another another African war finally declared. So here we go, India against Iran. That will bring in no, nobody's helping Iran, so too bad for them. The French are starting to get a little bit of war score. We'll see if Morocco even exists by the end of this war. It looks like it's going all the way to 100, so possibly not. And I apologize for all of the slowdowns we're getting in this particular episode. What government type was Mongolia? Socialist state? Okay. I just don't understand why they're getting so much advantage, like being able to have the Chinese cede territory in the middle of a war. But I have no problem with it. This is the good part about it. And I'm surprised that the Americans have not declared war on Costa Rica yet. It's just waiting. The Mexicans are having some trying to reinstate the this is an awesome leader for this rebel army here. I don't remember seeing many 3-star generals on a rebel army before. So let's see here. Can't quite tell what's the advantage is here. Afghan change of government in Iran is also happening. Turkish Iranian. So Iran is coming up against it. Look at this. Yeah. So Iran is being China'd here in that they've got Turkey, Afghanistan, and India trying to piece them out. And by peace, I don't mean war peace. I mean splitting them into different pieces. Yeah, they're going to have no army whatsoever. This will be good for the Turks here, though. They'll be moving the European Union. Did they actually... Let me look at this here. Yes, they do consider these parts of what used to be Iran are European Union, so we're pushing into Asia, more into Asia with the European Union. It's been a little quiet from like Ukraine and Belarus. We had a lot of action there a few episodes back. So yeah, Mongolia with their zombie horde. Turkish, Iranian, Spanish, Tunisia. So Spain just declared war on Tunisia and Mali. I was kind of saw that one happening. Talk about a lot of action going on right now. Crazy, crazy world. I've said it like every single episode just about, but let's have a look here. Mali should have a pretty good size army. Yeah. 36k, I would have thought, unless they're moved someplace else. Is Italy in this war as well? Yes, they are. So that should definitely help. Saudi Arabia is in the Iranian one. Let me just sort these. So we keep seeing the Mongol-Chinese war. What kind of war? It is a nationalist war. I was just seeing if it was some special kind of war. I wish I had that casus belli when I play, because being able to cede territory in the middle of a war seems pretty nice to me. Are they even, and I don't think I can tell, but are they actually coring that territory immediately? Yeah, it's a Mongolian full core, so I'm assuming that the game is bugged out. But like I said, if anybody has any clue what is happening there, I have no problem with this. And I don't even think China considers these cores. Well, I will certainly be restarting the game after this this episode, so that if I record the next, we won't be having any more issues. I think that India is about to take over a huge chunk of Iran here. Huge chunk. Looks like that's about the last Iranian stack here. I mean, Iran had grown pretty good earlier in the series, but wow, I'm just... So I think that I was wondering, does Mongolia still have an army? So yeah, they siege out these territories. They lost them immediately court, I guess. Pretty good deal for the Mongolians. Spanish Tunisian. So, yeah, I mean, Spain to get some nice... There's like total border gore here with their new territories. So they need to clean this up here in Tunisia. So that'll be good for them. Alright, all this craziness aside, it does look like we're out of time for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time.